Hello, I'm Debbie Byron, Head of Board Match Services for Stanford Women on Boards, our board recruitment service. I spent 40 years working with CEOs and their boards in Silicon Valley, primarily as a software executive, COO, and CHRO, and served on a number of nonprofit and educational institution boards. I've personally been an advocate for the advancement of women throughout my career, and this focus still drives my post-career volunteer work with SWB.
And hi, I'm Martha Josephson. I spent 25 years as a partner with the search firm Egon Zehnder, specializing in placing women on boards and people of color. So I have accompanied hundreds and hundreds of people through the board journey and been in easily 150 boardrooms helping boards select their new members. And when SWB came to me and said, would you like to run our technology experience group? They sort of had me at hello. Okay, so what are we going to do today? Why you need a board bio when you have a perfectly good resume, an impressive resume. Board bio is really different. And so we'll get into some conversation about that. Also using the board bio template. I've probably seen 10,000 board bios in my career, and the SWB board bio template is by far the best, most effective tool I've seen that results in very readable, effective documents. Then we'll get to some key points to consider as you're doing a board bio. It's not a solo journey. You can pull lots of resources in to help you. And then finally, once you've got it done, it doesn't just sit on your computer. What do you do with your board bio to help you get in the into the flow of opportunities?
The board bio template that SWB has provided was developed to meet the needs of our clients who are seeking board members, as well as to make it easier for candidates to present themselves more effectively. It's designed as a self-driving tool so that you can craft your bio with coaching points built in. There are many board bio formats out there, as Martha mentioned. Ours is a combination of a board profile on the first page and a career summary or resume on page 2. So let's start with the summary on page 1. It's the most important. The narrative that you will write is the opening that introduces you and your unique value. Some boards profiles only offer this narrative coupled with a very lengthy CV that you've already prepared, but we find that our clients are looking for a well-edited value statement that fully aligns with the career summary. Having them both in the same document we've found works quite effectively. Our template walks you through presenting your story, covering your key career experiences, and serves you well in the boardroom. A key point, and this is very important, is that the biggest shift in your thinking as you prepare your board profile is to translate your work experience into the broader boardroom contribution that you can make. You must reframe your expertise to illustrate how you would show up as an advisor and not as an operator. Now, we've also made some room in the template, in the outline, for you to call out a few leadership bullets where you can highlight some of your more significant measurable achievements. Presenting them this way allows you to even use them as talking points in an interview to demonstrate how your experience helps you to ask the right questions, helps you to understand timelines to deliverables, or maybe to prepare for strategic changes in the business. And don't forget to mention your boardroom experience. As an operating executive presenting to the board, perhaps, staffing a board committee, or serving on another corporate or nonprofit board. Demonstrating familiarity with good board governance and strong stewardship is really important. The second page we've reserved for your summarized resume, or the chronology of your career, which will reinforce the narrative. No need to be overly detailed here. If you can focus on the roles you've held that are significant and show increasing responsibility and decision-making. But most boards are interested in the size of companies that you've led, so be sure to be clear here about your experience in scaling growth at various stages of a company's life cycle. Now, there are a growing number of available resources to help you craft your bio. We've mentioned now this SWB board bio template, and we have a workshop that goes along with that to help you draft your bio in conjunction with some other folks. But there are other articles on the web and tools available. Some focus on the full context, that is how your bio fits into your path to the boardroom or the journey to the boardroom. You can see that in the Egon Zehnder and Athena Alliance items mentioned here. Others focus primarily on sample board bio language. You can also check out your colleagues' bios for inspiration. And obviously, the SWB template is designed to be self-driving, and added to it and beyond the coaching points is some sample language, some do's and don'ts, and 2 examples from real candidates. So don't be intimidated. This process of writing your board bio is a journey in itself and worth the effort. And it'll take many iterations to be comfortable with how you will tell your story and present yourself for board opportunities. I can definitely tell you you're not alone in this process. The SWB member who was most helpful in crafting our board bio template explained that she spent almost 2 years refining her bio. She's editing, making her story more relevant and compelling to board members based on the feedback she got from interviews and from her colleagues. Another SWB member recently told me a very positive story that because she received some very difficult feedback about her bio and her value proposition during our workshop on developing the board bio, she told herself she either needed to step away from pursuing board opportunities or really step up her game. She doubled down, did the work to edit and focus, and got that next interview and was appointed to a board several months later. She's now very much more comfortable telling her story as she pursues additional board opportunities. So now, Martha, let's talk for a few minutes about what you've learned is most important to the recruiters and board members as they assess board candidates. What are recruiters looking for when they receive a board bio from a candidate?
Well, boards and recruiters are looking for literally a 20-second picture of who you are. And it's really different from your resume. You want to think of it as a 30,000-foot helicopter approach to translating, thinking thoughtfully through what your experience means in a boardroom. Have you been required to ask probing questions? Have you been responsible for identifying and quantifying and solving risk situations? Have you served an audit committee as a CFO or senior finance executive? This is all not to say you should rely on buzzwords or keywords like strategic. Everybody says that and it won't differentiate you. Talk about issues that matter in governance. Again, probing questions, solving problems, identifying risks are key factors in a boardroom, and you're going to want to take your specific on the ground experience and bring it up a level. And our board bio workshops do that quite well.
Great. Well, once the bio is prepared, reviewed, edited over and over, should it work well for all potential board opportunities?
Actually, no, it should be a living document. So every board will have a sense, either written or verbal, of what it's looking for. And you'll want to tweak your board bio just as you would your resume for a job. You want to tweak your board bio to be addressing whatever it is they're looking for. It may be international M&A experience. It may be experience having taken a company public. It could be any number of things, and they'll usually write it down in a specification, but it's also fair game to ask. So yes, tweak your bio so it's responsive to the role or the seat that you're looking at.
Fantastic. And once it's fully edited and you feel pretty comfortable with it, what's the next step? What do I do with a board bio?
Okay, again, it lives, and it only lives in the sense that it gets out into the world. And there are gatekeepers you may not have thought about that are important in board search. There are people like me, as I was at Egon Zehnder, who does dozens and dozens of them. Get your board bio into their hands, and by that I mean find on the website the head of the board practice and send it to them. Trust me, they don't throw it away. They keep it very well coded and filed. But there are others. There are corporate law firms. That's often the first place a board goes to for suggestions on who should be sitting on boards. So make sure your network of lawyers and frankly, investment bankers as well. Same thing. They're always asked for ideas for new board members. Even professors who know you well since you've graduated. Professors are great sources of ideas and referrals. And then anybody you know who sits on boards or is close to board of directors, they should have it too. So it's planting seeds on your path to the boardroom. Now, the next module will be able to take us in much greater detail on how to use your network and expand your network to make sure you're in the flow of opportunities.
Terrific. Well, let's turn to the key takeaways for getting started writing your board bio. First, developing a board bio is a journey. You really need to spend time iterating and refining it. Identify someone to review with you as you iterate. You're not alone in this process. Second, big point here, pivot from telling your career or chronological resume story to a compelling narrative that articulates your value proposition in the boardroom. Third, align your bio with your LinkedIn profile and other published documents. This may seem like an obvious point, but it's often a point of confusion for nom/gov chairs and for recruiters if the board bio is too generic or full of buzzwords. Next, tailor your bio to each opportunity and promote your story through your network. As Martha pointed out, you can learn more in our next module about activating your network. Finally, we would suggest that you sign up for the board bio workshop with SWB. Great if you can draft yours in advance, but there you will meet others working on their journeys and you'll get direct feedback from both a mentor and from a few peers. So we wish you the best of luck on this really important step in your board journey.